So hey, I'd like to share with you just a few of my favorite knives. This, for starters, is, I believe this one's called the Gerber Mark II, I think. I don't know. Anyways, my favorite type of knives typically are the long skinny blades. And typically, I guess, what would you call that? Spear point, dagger point? Probably technically that's spear point. So anyways, I really like a dual edge knife too. For me it's really cool, and I really like combat knives a lot, and well, this one's just really cool to me, so I wanted to share a little bit. Okay, here's another one similar to that, and this here is an M7 bayonet from the Vietnam era, Vietnam, whatever. I think this one's made out of, what is it, 420 steel perhaps? Now, I'm not real sure. I think it's 420, which it's really durable. I've seen Mayor Fugly Cool, I think that's what his name. He actually stabbed it into a piece of wood and stood on this. So it's very durable, you know. I have no doubts about it. And if you saw how it was cheaply made, it appears cheaply made. Because actually it's not full tang construction. The tang is glued into this aluminum handle, but yet it's super durable, strong. Because Mayor Fugly Cool's like, I think 175, 180 standing on this thing, and he kind of bounced on it a little bit. If this thing can withstand his weight, you know, well, yeah, it's durable. It's good enough for me. Also, funny thing about this knife, before I get to the other one, I'm friends with a very old Vietnam era. He's 80 years old, and yeah, that is pretty old. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but anyways, so he served in the Vietnam War, and he said he used one of these back there. He was a Air Force Special Forces guy. Something about he was like some kind of into intelligence. Now, I'm not in the military, so I don't know all this stuff. I know a few things about it, but anyways, he said something about his primary thing was like to spy on the enemy and stuff. He had some really cool stories, but I won't get into that right now. This is about knives, not necessarily old Vietnam stories. But anyways, okay, so as you can see, these two are very similar, but yet very different too. And this one's made out of 1095 steel, which I'm not real fond of that. A lot of people go, "Ooh, you know, the hard steel's better." Well, it's not really. If it takes too much, you know, like say, if it just, you drop it too many times, it's hard, brittle steel. It can break. Much easier than this. You can drop this a lot more. This is softer steel. This stuff is more durable. That's why I like a little bit softer steel. I don't like it super hard like this, because this stuff can crack and break and chip. But it is good for holding an edge. Yes, you know, we can debate that all. So anyways, so if you've ever played a lot with steel and knives, you'd know, you know, that something like this is very hard to sharpen. If you use a regular stone to get this really razor sharp as this thing is, and I'll show that hopefully in another video, not in this video right now, because this is just kind of a quick little video to show you a few of my favorite types of knives. Ooh, it looks like horns almost. But anyways, yeah, what's cool is I did sharpen it, because I am really good at sharpening knives. I may not look it, but I'm 47 years old, and I've been basically sharpening knives since I was 9. So you do the math. That's almost, well, what is that, 38 years, I guess? Okay, so this side, it's dual edged and only partially edged on this side. Now, because this is the main edge here, so I put a razor fine sharp edge on this. However, on the other side, I almost did the same thing, but not as quite. To me, you know, mostly you're going to do damage here. This is just a little added bonus. Well, it's almost, what is that? That looks like maybe 40% of the blade sharpened from about here up. So this is not that much, not as sharp, but you know, I didn't quite put as much effort in there, and I certainly could, but this is your, you know, this is your main cutting edge right here on this side. So anyways, yeah, this one right here is a cool one, and I really like this one, and I'll show you another one. Probably one y'all probably own. And of course, this is actually 1095 steel too, I believe, but it's tempered differently, and it's tempered more of a spring temper, which I don't really know how they do that, but somehow they manage to. So anyways, and this one's cool too because this has the saw back. Now the funny thing about this one is, if you rub your hands back here, oh, that is not cool. And if you drag it on there hard enough, ooh. But watch this. Okay, let's see if we can see that. You can run it this way, and you're good. You can run it real, you know, fast if you want to this way, and you're fine. Run it fast down this way. Ow, that does hurt. That really hurt. See the little saws on here. You probably can't tell very well on this particular thing. So this one right here, I believe that, what is this, the Glock 81? Yeah, and I like Glock pistols too, but I would do gun videos, but YouTube doesn't seem to like that very much, so I'm sticking with knives, swords, ninja stars, and axes, and cool stuff like that. So anyways, yeah, this one's really sharp too, and so you start to see, these are my favorite types of knives, the long, skinny blades. And you ask, why is that? Well, in my particular self-defense style with a knife, I like to stab more. So I want a blade that's nice and skinny and long, so it stabs deep, and it kind of like a fat bullet versus a skinny bullet. If you got a really heavy animal, let's say, and you got to put a bullet deep into that animal, well, a skinny bullet's going to go deeper into it than a big old fat one is. Not that a big fat one can't do it. You just need to put a bunch of more energy behind it. So anyways, you know, this just goes in really quick and easy. You know, it doesn't have much resistance to it. You know, you just stick it right in, and you know. And of course, now if you have a bigger, wider edge, funny thing too is, hold on a second. If you get something more like this right here, I just happen to have this. Okay, now this is a Gerber knife too. I got most of all of them that look like this. I forget what this is called, but this is a great knife too, and it's one that I like also. But if you get one with a fatter blade like that, typically if you're cutting or slashing, it actually does better. When you have a wider blade, somehow that adds to, you know, I guess the weight and stuff. It just adds a better slash movement. Not that this isn't a good stabber too. You know, it is, and you can stab this thing probably all the way in too. But what I'm saying is the skinny blade, that sucker's gonna go in quick. And so you can do it quick again and again. Or of course you can also do like I've done and basically, you know, study where every artery is in the human body. Now of course I'm talking about self-defense only. Trust me, I don't really like fighting, but I like life. And